Hello everybody, and welcome to the second part of our life group resources talking about the promises of God. We hope you enjoyed Sunday, and this week what we're doing is, you may remember that last week we talked about the fact that promises tell us more about the promiser. In other words, God, when he makes promises to us, is teaching us about himself, what he thinks is important, how he sees us, and therefore how we can go and live. So the first part is that the promises reveal to us the promiser. The second thing is that promises are not passive, there's always something for us to do to be able to engage and live in those promises. And so tonight what we're going to do is open up that second part, that promises are never passive, and we're going to look quite practically at how we can actually start to live our lives based on the things that we know, based on the promises of God. So if you're anything like me, knowing something and actually changing the way I live because of that knowledge, they don't always line up. We know that we shouldn't drive faster than the speed limit, and we know that we shouldn't smoke cigarettes or eat Wacky Wednesday, or we know we shouldn't use a knife to get our toast out of the toaster, but we think, hey, I'm a grown-up, leave me alone. So we've got knowledge, but we don't always have the ability to base our lives on truth. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to get a little bit honest about some areas in our personal lives where we wish things were different. Perhaps relationships, perhaps a sin or a habit, perhaps a character flaw, I don't know, being late all the time, or struggling to tell the truth, or not listening to other people, not being empathetic, whatever you might find, whatever you're happy to share with people. We're going to look at that, and then we're going to search for a promise to do with that thing, and then we're actually going to get practical about how we can start to live our lives based on that thing. So a silly little example, but if I know that the Amashova is coming through Kloof, or Belito's got roadworks on a Saturday, or there's a relay race here in Durban. If I know that and I'm driving from A to B, I can't just drive the simplest, straightest way. I have to navigate and change and think how I'm actually going to get where I want to go without going from A to B. I have to make diversions and go a different way. And for a lot of us, that's true. We've got an ideal for the way we want that relationship to be, or the way we want our life to be, or the way we want our faith to be. But it's not as simple as going from A to B. We have to change the way we speak and think, what goes into our diary, what goes into our conversations, in order for us to actually engage in those promises that God has for us. So your leader, who's got a bunch of promises prepped, but you can also search for some on your phone using Bible Gateway or Open Bible. Those are great websites, and there's a bunch of questions to go through as well. So enjoy, and remember, the last final thought is this, that all those 3,500 promises that God has for us are all for our benefit. It says that he wants us to prosper and have a good future, and we know God is constantly at work for those that he loves, and for those that love him, he's constantly at work in our lives, making things combine together for good. So remember that he's not just about changing stuff for the sake of it. He really, really wants us blessed and happy and content. So as we look at some promises and how they impact our daily lives, remember the promiser who wants to provide and father us and take care of us and encourage us and love us. He's the one who makes us willing and able to change.